Hello, this is Smokeman. Apologies for the extremely long wait. A year of laziness and a few computer crashes deleting all your work will do that. But nonetheless, here is the long awaited Darrius episode of the PatronKast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the PatronKast, where we discuss fan art that Smokeman and I have commissioned, redesigning a 3D era character to make them not suck. This episode will be about Darrius. And before we get started, I want to put a disclaimer up, because I'm going to pronounce it Darrius a lot, and we do get comments about that, and before you write that YouTube comment, you, the listener, yes, you right now, you know who I'm talking to, please don't make that comment. I already know how you feel, but I believe Darrius and Darrius is a potato-potato situation. I think the name could be pronounced both ways, and I don't care how you feel. We may now continue. So, our approach to Darrius was basically, we wanted him to look more like the leader of a bunch of terrorist revolutionaries. But,
because that's what his bio implies.
Yeah, because that's his story, right? He's basically like a Che Guevara type. So he was like the creators. They based him a lot on Morpheus. And for some reason, Blade, like Wesley Snipes' Blade. But like Morpheus from The Matrix is an obvious connection because he is that character to the characters in The Matrix. Like, he's the leader of this group that wants to free everybody from the oppression of the system and whatnot, right?
Right.
So, the other thing, though, is that for us, going back to what we said in the Dairu episode about how we looked into like the crypt and unused concept art, and how Dairu was supposed to be this guy in Deadly Alliance who would have two swords and fight Kenshi, and so we incorporated that. With Darrius, his backstory was that he was originally going to be a Red Dragon member because Deception didn't have one, and you can see elements of that in like his color scheme matches the Red Dragon artifact chamber stage in Deception. Like all the black and orange.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to reincorporate that because I think it gives the character more to work with and sort of combine both versions. So the story for our Darrius is that he was sent by the Red Dragon clan into Sado to create the resistance movement, because Sadans by nature like law and wouldn't be naturally inclined to resist the government. So an outside force would need to inspire them to do so, and by doing so and destabilizing the Sadan government and trying to overthrow it, they can create a power vacuum that the Red Dragon could come in and take over the realm. So that's what our Darrius is all about. So when we redesigned his costume, we were also thinking about like moves, as we do, and that's where we pulled Red Dragon ideas from, because Darrius's moves in Deception, as they are pretty much all, none of them are worth keeping. They're all very generic. He feels like somebody went through the Armageddon character creator and just picked 3 random special moves. And then he's got like bladed gauntlets for a weapon, but why? You know? First of all, that weapon doesn't need to exist because Baraka already does those moves. Like, that's already a guy's thing. So what I wanted to do is give him the tasers, the stun batons that the Red Dragon mooks have in like the 3D era games where they appear. You know, like the guys who are in like the gimp suits with the goggles.
Right.
Yeah.
And we also took a lot of design inspiration from those mooks as well.
Yeah, we put elements of those guys into the costume. Another thing we were thinking about for moves is that if you're thinking about like a guy who starts riots, we wanted to give him like a tear gas as a projectile. Like he throws tear gas grenades. So we incorporated that into the artwork here.
The detail I like, and this was all Merc. Like I don't think we ever gave this note, but I like how the tear gas is actually orange.
Yeah. Well, the color helps convey that it's not just smoke. It's actually like more than just like a smoke bomb. It's doing something else, and plus, the orange goes with his costume.
Yeah, it was a kind of spur of the moment design choice, but I think it works well.
Yeah. Yeah, and the third thing that we went for with his moveset is when we were looking at the concept art from the Deception Crypt for him, we noticed that there was this like a hexagon pattern on his gauntlets.
Yes,
and I like the look of it.
We both kind of agreed that those gauntlets should do something.
Yeah, so we had the idea of what if he was like able to project something holographic out of the hexagon pattern. So we gave him like a holographic riot shield. So like he can make this glowing hard light construct shield in front of himself out of the gauntlet.
And that goes back to, of course, the whole idea of Satan or Sato being like a cyberpunk realm.
Yeah, they have this advanced technology, and the hexagons are also on like we're gonna have them on Hotaru's armor, and like there was holographic projection elements to Darrius's armor, or to Dairu's armor. I mean, like he had that badge number coming out of his shoulder pad.
Yeah, so the technology already there.
Yeah, there's a lot of shared elements there across like the three Sato characters,
which is the idea.
Yeah,
when we get to Hotaru, you're going to see elements of both Darrius and Dairu.
Yeah.
I particularly like the way that the shirt is done, because on the original design, he's got like this weird like flap that's kind of looks like something that
it's sort of like a Kung Lao or Raiden apron made out of like strips of rubber.
Like
it very much looks like a hockey goalie kind of a chest guard.
Yeah.
I was thinking more like an inflatable raft that you can lay on in your pool.
Yeah. So I wanted to keep something texture-wise that looked like that, because
you have to keep them recognizable.
Yeah, you don't want the character to look too different where people can't tell who they are, right? You want them to still have something iconic about them.
So here, it's got more of like a hard plastic feel to it.
Yes, we incorporated it into the idea of that red dragon, almost like a gimp suit bodysuit. Although, like, the thing that makes the red dragons look like gimps is that they're covered in belts.
Which we, of course...
Yeah, we toned that way down. We kept... I always liked, like, the ribbon belt that Darrius always wears in-game already. So we kept that. But the ones across the chest are now like a tactical harness with some utility belt pockets, and they can hold the tear gas canisters on them.
Right.
It's something similar to, like, Sonya and Jax have worn this kind of gear over their chest before.
And we have mentioned how he was mildly inspired by Blade. We went hard in with that. Like, that like buckled harness on his torso is
the two buckles, those are definitely pulling from like the costume from Blade 1.
And like we try to make him look as much like Wesley Snipes in the face as we can.
Yeah, we told Merc to draw Wesley Snipes. If He did a when he was sketching it out. He did a version with the flat top where you can really tell it's Wesley Snipes.
We'll play the time lapse at some point during the video, but
Yeah.
there will be a point where you can pause it and you'll be able to see it for yourself.
Yeah.
It's pretty blatant.
There also, you might catch in the time lapse a brief period where he was drawn with Steven Seagal's face. That was just a joke because we happened to be talking about Steven Seagal at the time.
Let me do a thing real quick. We stream kind of the design process for this. It's I thought it would be good to just kind of like have live feedback during the time. What was I going to say? Oh, well, if you ever wanted to jump in and catch one of those streams, the address would be Merc __1 at twitch.tv. So shameless plug, checking it out.
Hell yeah. One thing that I really wanted in the design, which speaks more to like the rebel faction leader idea, is the whole like scarf and trench coat he's got going on.
Yeah, I really like the scarf because it like you see that all the time on like people fighting in the Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
And we were inspired to do it by a sketch by Zamoel, which I will include.
Which we have pulled from before.
Yeah, we've referenced his artwork before, and sometimes we don't agree with all of his ideas for character redesigns, and sometimes we do like stuff he comes up with. I wanted the trench coat that goes with it to be a bit more plain, so that we weren't like super ripping him off.
Yeah. We of course got his permission to take from his ideas, but this is the hardest we've ever like pulled from. I think the first one was Drummond with the thing.
Yeah. Generally, we come up with our own stuff, but with Darrius, I think like the scarf just like really gets across the image of that like terrorist rebel leader guy, and like the trench coat. We were gonna have him in a trench coat anyway because all of the characters he's based on wear one. Like Blade and Morpheus wear trench coats.
Mm-hmm.
But like the specific look of it to go like there's like orange trim on the pockets and stuff like that to go with the rest of his bodysuit to like match. I mean, we probably couldn't have avoided looking like we copied from Zamoel in that aspect.
Right. Move wise, I don't think you ever really play anyone with like taser battens in any MK game.
No,
like,
the only time they've done that
was
was Nightwing in Injustice. It's not an MK thing, like playable.
Like,
but
and,
like
like, you
the
look
Red
at
Dragons, the Red Dragons have had them since like they introduced the Mook guys for I think Shaolin Monks and Armageddon.
And they're doing like cool like twists in the air and shit with them. They're fucking, it's really cool. And they, of course, use them again in the MKX comic, which we pulled some design elements from as well.
Yeah.
I think the closest that they've ever really come to kind of this, at least the weapon kind of archetype, without the taser aspect, would be Sonya in Deadly Alliance, I believe, where she has like collie sticks.
Yeah, she has collie sticks. I mean, obviously Stryker has a stun gun, but it's the kind that shoots out the wires.
Right, it's something that it's police standard issue.
Yeah, it's not a he's never combined the taser with the billy club.
This is like more technological, of course.
Yeah.
And because you look at his other fucking moves, like he
plus
had,
like it all speaks to like
2 dash punches, and he had like fucking some generic blue light ball that
he just kind of like shot a generic fireball, and then he had like that helicopter kick that Cyrax had in Deadly Alliance.
His moves are fucking terrible.
They're just really generic and don't make sense. But like the thing about the taser sticks that I like, the whole set of things we picked is that we gave him the taser sticks because the Red Dragons had them. But tasers are also a thing you see a lot at riots. And like that holographic force field he makes is a riot shield.
It's cool as fuck.
So it all fits the theme.
And
Speaking of the shield, we did sneak a little visual gag in there.
Yeah, zoom all the way in on the
Without zooming
control
in.
panel. You might notice. We'll have to put a close-up of that in the video.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, we had Merc. This is probably the hardest we've ever worked him, because we had him do like 3 versions. We had him do one without the trench coat and scarf, just to like really get the detail of the bodysuit and the harness. And then we also had him do one in the color scheme of a Red Dragon member, where he has the logo on the chest.
You should have seen the amount of layers I had on this fucking on the PSD. Look, man. I like to keep my stuff organized, despite how fucking chaotic it might look.
I told you as you were doing it, maybe you should like name the layers so you can find them.
Naming layers is for the weak.
I guess I'm pretty weak when I do art. Because I need to know where your shit is.
Oh man, but yeah, with the alternate like color scheme, like the Red Dragon one, we lifted from the MKX comic version of the Red Dragon Mook with the big like logo on the front.
Yeah. The Red Dragon Mooks, I mean, they're fairly consistent. It's all like just little changes in detail. It's always like a full body suit with like a Spider-Man style full head mask with some goggles on over the eyes. And there's usually like elements of like belts and like too many belts. Like the Final Fantasy bondagey guy stuff is not where I wanted to go with it. I just wanted to make it look like some like tactical like urban ninja kind of bodysuit thing.
This is probably the only context where the word tactical is used in a positive manner.
Yeah, usually it's used to insult something because like oh, they made this Captain America costume way overdone and cringe.
Mm-hmm.
But
and of course, I also like the detail on the side of his bodysuit where it has the same texturing that his pants did in Deception.
yeah, the like that's another area where the hexagons came in.
Mm-hmm.
Because he already had that like hex texture to his teal pants. So, and we wanted to like have elements of the suit like all throughout the suit. You know, you don't want like the shirt to not match the pants and stuff like that. So there's hexagons here and there's hexagons there. The rubbery ribbing on his chest is also on his thighs and knee pads. It all comes together, you know, it's all very thematic. And that's sort of what always kind of shocks me about the bad character designs like original Darrius is why didn't the original artist think to do that? Like it's not a complicated thought that maybe a person's clothes should match.
Even his belt buckle is a hexagon.
Yeah, it is. He also, like, he has that, it's like 3 circles in a circle logo. It's kind of like, almost like a shuriken or some kind of tri-blade boomerang like Jade uses kind of logo.
Yeah.
I don't know what that stands for. We could come up with something like the logo of the Satan Resistance, and maybe there's something the 3 circles mean. Maybe he picked 3 circles because Sato is divided into 4 squares, and he wanted to be like, no, fuck you.
It's an odd number, and odd numbers are, I guess if you really want to be anal about it, chaotic. I guess since it's not even, you could make up some bullshit.
Well, I think that's the interesting thing about the Satan Resistance is it's not order versus chaos. It's like order versus neutrality. Like they're not all the way havoc, you know? They just want to live free.
And like, of course, there's no like sharp jagged edges to the circles. You could like thematic shit.
I don't know.
Where it's all like.
I just
When,
wanted again to use elements from original Darrius in our redesign so that he would be recognizable.
Exactly.
Because
when Smokeman was describing the way he wanted the belt to look, he often used reference pictures from MCU Captain America. I think
Right.
Specifically Civil War.
It was like the Avengers 2 Civil War costume where on his back the belt buckles make the way that the belt buckles work is that they like kind of form into one middle one that locks them in place that forms a star pattern on his back.
Yeah, it's like a big. He's got these belts across his shoulders that hold the shield on when he puts the shield on his back, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the buckle to those belts across his shoulders meet in between his shoulder blades on his back, and the buckle is shaped like kind of an A or a star.
Yeah, star.
Yeah. And so we were kind of looking at like trying to design a version of the belt buckle logo where each part would connect to the belt and form that shape. I don't know. We could have gone fancier with it probably, but I didn't want to get too far from looking having the recognizable logo.
Right.
But just the main thing to me was to have like you want the black and orange and teal color scheme because there was nothing wrong with it, and you want the ribbon belts and the logo because that's recognizable, and you want the rubber ribbing across his chest. But like I didn't want like too many characters in Mortal Kombat have like a loincloth, like a flap over their junk. And it's like the ninjas have it because that is a thing in pop culture that like ninjas have sometimes. Like it's a recognizable visual shorthand for this guy is like in martial artist robes, right? But a lot of times it feels like when the MK designers get lazy, they have like a collection of these things are MK things. Put a flap over them. Like if they designed like if they did another MK versus DCU, right? And they wanted to give all the DC characters outfits that made them look like Mortal Kombat characters, they would probably give a lot of them loincloth flaps. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see it.
So I kind of want to avoid that with characters that don't need to have one. You know, like it should only be there if it like fits the core concept. And since we're going with Red Dragon bodysuit as the core concept for Darrius here, like a stealthy assassin, tight, rubbery kind of outfit. Again, tactical. Like, I was trying to avoid the word tactical that time, but why not? Just say it.
Fuck it.
Yeah. You don't have a flap on that. You want it to be tight and
sleek.
Sleek, yes. Sleek is a good word.
One other thing to note that this like primary costume, this would be like he's a Red Dragon undercover.
Yeah.
Like he's not like openly like part of basically the Illuminati.
Yeah, that's why like the black and red color scheme version is the alternate. Normally, you would not openly wear the Red Dragon colors when you're trying to pretend to be a Satan and foment rebellion.
Mm-hmm. Another thing you could do with his moves, at least, is going back to the whole like resistance leader side. Is I've never seen this mechanic done at least in MK, but you could do like a sticky bomb where he like throws it on the opponent. And like the next hard knockdown you get, it turns it into a launcher.
I think Cyrax has something close to that, but they've never really done like a sticky bomb. You're right.
Cyrax had a thing in 9 where he would fire like a bomb that looked like you ever see the movie Phantasm?
Yeah.
Yeah, it had like little like 3 prongs sticking out of the bomb, and it like flew across the screen like a projectile.
Yeah,
like
yeah. His like the cyber ninja stuff will like sprout spikes and stick into you.
yeah, and it like stabbed into them, and then they'd like fall down immediately and pop up.
Yeah.
This would be more like like a setup thing. Like you throw the bomb on there, and then like you do like another string that's a hard knockdown, and then that would be your launcher.
Yeah, it should actually be like some kind of goo or like C4 plastic explosive. Like he throws a glob of it, and it's like that's what's sticking to you. Like,
Yeah. And
but
of course you could do like Nightwing shit, like that move from Arkham City where he stabs him in the ground, like a big like bubble of like electric blast like bursts out. And...
I also imagine that like in terms of his normals, if you were like redesigning Darrius from the core up, you would try to give him like, I imagine him having a fighting style where he can like stand still calmly a lot, like, and like toss you like judo or aikido, where it's like he's able to look casual and cool while he's fighting and just use your momentum against you to like you run at him and he sidesteps and suddenly you're on your back and he's got like one hand behind his back and he's standing up straight. He's not even like in a fighting pose.
Like that bit Shinnok does in MKX in the beginning.
Yeah, a little bit like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like Lambert Raiden does to Liu Kang at the beginning of the 95 movie.
Yeah. But Darrius's personality, I feel like, should be casual, but also like kind of goofy. Almost
like the thing I'm imagining is like effortlessly cool is the phrase I would use. Where he's like not try hard about it, he just kind of looks slick when he's standing around in charge, you know? But every once in a while he would probably say something where you're like, that's a cool line, but when I think about it, it doesn't make any sense at all. Like, some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
Ice skate uphill.
And I also kind of imagine Darrius doing like some kind of corny shit, like in Blade 1 in the beginning of the rave scene when he shoots the one vampire to the wall with a stake, and he does like a thing with his arm, with his fist, like he kind of like cocks it and like gives like shows his teeth a little bit, like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something to give him some personality because he doesn't have fucking anything.
Well, like that's the thing is like when you go by his dialogue in Conquest mode, which is all he's ever had, he's clearly just another boring NPC guy. But when you look at his design and you can tell they were basing him on fucking Wesley Snipes and Lawrence Fishburne, you're like, now I'm thinking about how Wesley Snipes or Lawrence Fishburne would play this role, right?
Right.
And that's what you want. So, yeah, I mean, the thing about this design is that this is one of those ones where we added a lot to it, where we changed a bunch, as opposed to, like, Draman and Ashra, where we really didn't change much, we just kind of made the context stronger. This one we added a lot of design elements, and we, like, completely redid his moveset and all that kind of thing. But you don't really need to deep dive the explanation, because it's kind of self-explanatory when you look at it, what we did and why.
I think going forward, you're going to see a lot of the designs be more like this one, where there's a lot of thought put into it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like a lot of thought, but it's also obvious. Like, I think Hotaru will be one that there will be a lot of explanation needed for, because we are kind of really deep diving into how the technology of the Satan Guard works and why he looks like a bug and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Next one's going to be a little bit out there in terms of like the visuals. Like it'll probably be, I don't even know, like maybe slightly a departure in terms of how it looks.
Well, that's the thing, like, again, with the iconicness, you still want certain things. You want him to have, like, long gray or white hair. You want his armor to look like an insect. You want him to have a naginata. You want him to shoot lava out of his hand. These are the core recognizable elements of Hotaru, but within that framework, you can change and update a lot of stuff.
And I think we're with Hotaru, we're definitely going to aim to keep the silhouette of his armor at least consistent with how it is in Deception.
Yeah, you will definitely get the same idea where it's like it's full plate, and it's got that cool like black with a pearlescent green shine to it look. Like you want it to look like a beetle carapace or something like that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But like again, because we've gone so much into the like that cyberpunk concept of Sato, of like all the culture of the oppressive regime versus like the underground resistance, and like the grimy technology aspect to it, and like the holograms and the different things that are thematically common across characters that we're adding. So it's like Hotaru's kind of like, there's a reason we saved him for last, because he combines elements of Darrius and Dairu that are kind of complicated. So that's what you'll see in the next video. I am looking forward to getting that one done. We don't even have the artwork done for it yet, so it might be more than a month away.
We just need to pull ourselves away from fucking Valheim for a little bit.
Yeah, we've been playing a lot of video game.
It's surprisingly like it's surprising to me how much all of us have really kind of spent time in it. You know,
it's addictive because it's like Minecraft, but I like Vikings. So that's what we've been up to, and that's why I would like to be putting out more videos, but we need to work on our self-discipline. But yeah, I think that about covers it, because like I said, this one, like, we changed a bunch of stuff, but they're simple changes and they're easy to see, so I don't have a long diatribe about the hows and whys. You guys have anything to add?
Not particularly.
No, I think everything's pretty much covered. Talked about moves. We talked about the design mentality. We talked about Blade.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah. The other thing, like, you're probably gonna stream as you're working on Hotaru too, right? So maybe that, like, if anybody wants to check those out.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure somebody will probably put the link up in the.
It'll be in the video description. The link to your Twitch,
the description as well.
Yeah.
All right, so if you guys really like following like the process and you're interested in more of the 3D character redesigns, you can actually watch them be made in real time in the future. So
yeah, you can witness us goofing the hell off while we're doing it too. So
talking about things like Steven Seagal
and his ability to control many snakes
and snatch every motherfucker birthday.
That man is an icon. An icon of what? I don't know.
he is a legend, and now I'm genuinely trying to find a character who could be the MK version of him, the way like Jet Li and Bruce Lee and Jean-Claude Van Damme are in Mortal Kombat in some form. Steven Seagal needs a guy. I think maybe Cabal. I think Steven Cabal could be a thing.
Yeah, we've been joking about that for a while, but yeah, I think it'll probably have to be Cabal. It just makes sense.
We'll try to make him more in shape under siege Steven Seagal, and not fatly walking modern Steven Seagal. Cabal fatly dashed at these are some deep cuts. These are some jokes that people aren't gonna get.
Oh no!
Hey, you gotta be there for the streams to get them, man. Come on by whenever you feel like it. We'll be there.
We are advertising future content here is what we're doing. We're not being too inside baseball and chasing people away. We're inviting them to become part of the community. That's how I like to think of it.
Join the Discord.
Absolutely join the Discord. We have good times.
Yeah.
So I guess that covers it for this episode. This one might be our shortest yet. But like as the artwork, as far as the quality of the artwork goes, I think Darrius is my favorite drawing you've done so far, Merc. I am really happy with this one.
I'm very glad. This one, as you guys have touched on before, this one was the absolute most work that I've had to put into one so far, and I'm glad the results are to your guys' liking.
I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, me too. I can't wait for more, man.
So that's, I guess that's going to be it for us this episode. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. And look forward to more 3D era characters being rehabilitated. And basically us just kind of going, hey, NRS, why aren't you doing this? It's not that hard. I say that every time. It's not that hard. You just got to want it.
I mean, that is a thing that you kind of touched on in one of the previous episodes of The Lost. I won't go into too much detail about it. It's there, and anybody who has listened to it, you know what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
I think one of the devs, that one guy that does all the UI shit that left recently.
Danish.
Yeah, he said like, well, the team has to be enthusiastic about it too.
Yeah,
well, eat shit, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe start liking Mortal Kombat.
Wouldn't you want to be enthusiastic about fixing something that's bad?
You would think.
That's the thing. Is like I've always said, I don't hate any Mortal Kombat character except some of the ones from 11. I didn't used to hate any Mortal Kombat character. Like, even the 3D era guys that are lame, you can see the gem of a good idea hidden within.
Even fucking Movado.
And I don't know how you don't get enthusiastic for the opportunity to carve away at the rough rock to reveal that gem. Because that's fun to me. Like, I like the idea of taking a trash character and proving they could be cool. But yeah, that's it for this episode. Say goodnight, everybody.
Catch you later.
See you, nerds.
And good night.